Hey, good evening, Midwest Survivor. Time for dinner chat. Um, we're going to talk about a very interesting subject tonight. We're going to talk about what emotional abuse does to your confidence. And speaking as somebody that has undergone years and years and years of emotional abuse from different people in their lives, I can honestly say that that kind of emotional abuse, it doesn't leave scars on your body, it doesn't leave bruises, it doesn't cause you to bleed or anything, but it will destroy your mind, it will destroy your confidence, and it can even destroy your personality and even make you question your abilities as an employee, as a man or a woman. It can make you question your choices, make you question memories, things that happened. Did they really happen? Did it really happen this way? More importantly, it will cause you to second guess your feelings. Am I making the right decision? Did I do this right? Did I do that right? Did I do this wrong? And then more importantly, it will cause you to believe and question, whether you're good enough to do anything. Do you clean good enough? Do you work hard enough? You know, are you good enough intimately? These are all feelings that can come from what emotional abuse can do to a person's mind. And speaking honestly, undergoing years and years and years and decades of emotional abuse, it definitely I check every single one of these boxes. I doubt, there's times I've doubted my decisions. I've doubted the choices that I've made. I've doubted whether or not I was good enough, whether I was good enough to get stuff done, whether my confidence was strong enough. And, you know, it causes you to second guess, the feelings and the choices and the decisions that you make. Um, and then you begin to believe that you're not good enough, that you don't have the confidence enough, that you're not smart enough, that you're not talented enough, that you don't do anything right, whether it's on your job or working around a house, or whether you're smart enough, or whether, or even as even if you're married to someone, whether you are good enough intimately. And when they question those things, it's emotionally and mentally devastating to your personality. Uh, you know, the hardest part about change and the hardest part about rebuilding your life isn't the leaving, and it isn't the reclaiming of wealth or possessions or whatever. The hardest thing of all is learning to trust yourself again and believe in yourself again. And over time, if you stop seeing your strengths and your abilities, all you're going to see is the negative, and all you're going to see is the flaws, and all you're going to see is that stuff that somebody has vomited and poured on you like nasty tar. And all you will see is your failures and your mistakes and the bad choices and the bad feelings and everything that's bad. And the hardest thing that you can ever do is walk away from something that has just been emotionally devastating to you. But it can be done. It needs to be done. You can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And let me tell you something, the hardest thing that you will ever do in your life is separate yourself from people that have been trying to destroy you, people that have tried to be bringing you down, people that are trying to force you to do things based on their perceptions of you, on what you need to do for your life. We have been given this great mind and talents and abilities and skills, and no one really has the right to tell us that we're doing it wrong, unless we are self-destructive, we're hurting people, we're breaking the law or whatever. And that amount of pain and that amount of suffering that a person can experience in their life from emotional abuse, here's the thing. Whenever you've undergone this for years and years and years, and people refuse to see your side of things, and all they can say is, well, you just need to suck it up, you just need to deal with it. Well, I'm sorry, but there comes a point in time where you can take and take and take and take so much abuse that you begin to lose who you are up here, and you begin to lose who you are in here. And you begin to question every choice, every decision. who you are as a person, what your abilities are, what your skills are. And whenever that has been stripped away and broken and taken away from you, and you lose who you are as that person, it can be absolutely devastating, and it can be absolutely torturous. And especially whenever you're giving and giving and giving and giving to the person that's abusing you, but yet all they can do is just tear you down and break you. That kind of confidence, having that confidence shattered in your life, can be devastating and can take months and years to regain and get back, especially if you walked into a relationship where your confidence was already broken and your confidence was already shaky and you wasn't sure about who you were as a person. I can honestly say that 9.5, 10 years ago, I wasn't sure of who I was. I had confidence issues because of past emotional abuse that happened earlier in my life, caused by other people. And now that I am away from those people and away from this situation, I'm beginning to feel like myself again. I'm beginning to feel strong. I know who I am. I know what my capabilities are. I've been talking to different people in my life, and getting connected with different people in my life that are encouraging me and saying, you can do this. You do have this abilities. Take that risk. Do these things. And I'm beginning to see that I'm a strong, smart, intelligent, confident person again. And let me tell you, whenever you go from being kind of cowardly and kind of hand-wringing and kind of, well, I just don't know if I can do that, or I don't know if I should do that, to, you know what, I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna, if I go down failing, if I go down in failure for trying, at least I tried and at least I did something, instead of going back 20, 30 years ago. Well, I had a chance to do something. I had a chance to buy something. I had a chance to do this, but I just couldn't do it. You know what? I have met many people in my life that complained about opportunities that came into their life. And yet 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, they complained about the opportunities that presented themselves. And either they didn't have, and I'm going to say a word here, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but it applies. If they didn't have the balls and the spine to do what needed to be done, then they're cowards and they were afraid. They allowed the fear of failure to overcome them, and they allowed emotional, either their emotions that were frail and broken, to keep them from succeeding, rather than saying, you know what, I'm going to stick my neck on the line, and if I succeed, great. If I fail, let me learn something by my failure. I love the TV show Yellowstone, and I love the line that Beth Dutton says, that there's only 3 ways to get rich. I won't mention the other 2 because they're kind of profane and kind of dirty, but the one where she says, the third way is to fail. Work harder, fail more. Fail harder, work more. Work more, work harder, and don't let anybody outwork you. And I'm kind of paraphrasing this here. But you learn and you fail. You fail more and you learn more. And then you don't let anybody outwork you. And I've kind of taken that on for myself. You know what? I'm going to try to do things. I'm going to try to succeed. And I'm going to, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to fail. But you know what? More than anything else, I've got my confidence back. I'm going to learn more. I'm going to fail more. And I'm not going to let anything stop me from seeing goals and getting and achieving my dreams. And I know there's going to be some people out there that say that I've lost my mind, that I've gone crazy. But you know what? Screw you all. I'm back. I'm confident and I'm strong, and I'm a new man today, because I chose to escape from emotional abusive situations and emotionally abusive people. And I'm regaining myself little by little, day by day, reading books, eating healthy, exercise, working hard, not letting anybody outwork me, learning from failure and trying and succeeding and getting back up when I get knocked down. Life is all about getting knocked down, learning from your failure, and getting back up again. And if I could say anything to encourage anybody tonight, life is going to knock you down. You may not always get the job you want. You may not always get the things that you want, but you get up, you learn from your failure, and you try again. Learn more, fail more, try again. And Midwest Survivor, and I'm going to leave you with a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of hope. Learn more, succeed, bust your butt, and don't let anybody outwork you. Stay healthy, stay strong, and I'll see you tomorrow on another dinner chat. Y'all have a good night, take care, and we'll see you later.